So post-match to my game against Inter Milan, this is a really, really tough one to go through. So Inter Milan are a good side. They're a good side, and they've been decent for the last couple of seasons. I've got a great record against them, and I know how to play against them. So I was looking forward to this game. But basically, just 2 days or no, a day before kickoff, I got a call from my mum to tell me my dad was on his deathbed. He had hours to live, basically, and so I had to go down to South London. I live in North London. I live in Highbury. I had to head down to South London just to be by his side for a bit. Was there for quite a few hours, and that's when I texted Inter to tell him that I'm going to be playing on CPU because I don't know if I'm going to be at home to play the game because I'm waiting for my dad to die. So he was quite understanding. He went and did his thing. Obviously, the Pep being a Pep, still had to do all my tactics and all that stuff. And no one offered for me to play the game later or anything. But we did what we had to do. And then in the game, it was a bit crazy because I wish this whole coach mode thing was a thing at that point because I did my tactics, but the computer changed my tactics in game. It put me on Swarm the Box, which I never use. And I think when you're using CPU, that's the stupidest thing to do. And it's probably because he crosses a lot, but then both his goals were because I was on Swarm the Box. Both his goals, he was dragging it, were low passes dragged back to the outside of the box, and then he could shoot. So yeah, it was upsetting. The computer just changed up my tactics. They're playing awful. He obviously did what he had to do, and he did really well, and won 2-0. But I lost points there, which is a shame. And to a rival and to someone who in the last 2 times I've played them, I've put 7 goals past them. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like now CPU's playing. We lost the points, but it is what it is. I wasn't too concerned about the game, to be honest, because the situation with my father, and also I came down with coronavirus as well, so I was pretty sick to go along with it. And then my dad passed. He actually didn't pass when the doctor said. He passed 4 days later. So yeah, all round a bad week. I was very sick, very, very sick over that whole period. And then also, losing my father, and then so that the loss to Inter didn't really mean much. It was just not until after I feel like it was a wasted game. Felt like I probably should have asked the Pep if we can postpone the match. I think there should be dispensation to be allowed to postpone matches without having to pay a hefty fine. But I understand admin and all that stuff, but it's one of those things where I would have much rather played them rather than the tepid display that the CPU did, and it ended up just being a pretty simple game for them against a team that I've generally had a lot of success against the last couple of times I've played them. But it is what it is. So it's a second defeat. There's a real dent to our title chances. The defeat, but what's going to happen is we're going to have a very good second round of games and try and get as many points in the next couple of games we've got. So all credit to Inter though, he did what he had to do. He beat who was put in front of him, but that wasn't my tactics that he played because the computer changed my tactics, which is why from now on, if I was to do that, I'm going to be on coach mode, and people can. Well, I don't know if it's possible, but I think it is possible to be on coach mode and do that because I think I've done it on my own computer, so I think other people can. Anyway,